Welcome to Beyond the Circus. This is Dale Hummel, along with co-star Ryan Rash.
Hello, 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 hello.
I know you're the most excited about the caucuses.
Well, I would just like to say that, yeah, I was very, very pleased. You, on the other hand, probably should not be, since both of your boyfriends had crushing defeats, and one of them, it was so bad that they laid out, said bye, see ya, and now has firmly attached themselves up Trump's ass. You can't even see Viagra Ramshackle's shoes anymore. He's so far up Trump's ass.
He doesn't have a chance at VP, so what is he looking for, a cabinet appointment? What's he
what would he put him as secretary of?
I don't know. But why would he do it?
I don't know. I don't get it. But for those of you that have been in the frozen tundra and not stayed up on all the political comings and goings, so Trump won Iowa. But I just want to give you a little precursor on this.
That depends on which media station you're listening to.
No, they all said he won Iowa, Dale.
They said he barely won.
No,
barely. 51% is not enough, they said. That's terrible.
See, you're completely misreporting everything.
Incorrect.
You are wrong.
I did turn on the ABC and NBC of things.
You are so wrong. They started this shit out before he ever even got to the caucus that if he didn't win by 50%, it was a loss. Complete, total loss. If he can't win by 50% of the vote, complete loss. So then he did win by 51%. He won 98 of the 99 counties. The one county he lost by one vote. And after all that,
and I assume he lost to Nikki?
Yes, he lost to Nikki by one vote. And after all that, they all said he won, but they refused to take his speech. They did not broadcast it.
I'm telling you that the reports that I heard, I'm sure I was a little selective and a little biased, but the reports that I heard, they acknowledge that he won. They can't not say
you just said they didn't.
No, I'm going to go back just a little bit. They look at it as it wasn't enough. He should have won by more. There was hardly anybody that turned out to vote. This means nothing. That's where they're at. They aren't saying he didn't win. I should restate that, but basically downplaying it like I've never seen.
Well, it was like negative degrees. So probably wasn't a massive voter turnout, but I didn't hear that, to be honest with you. But I
was looking at the actual numbers, and I don't know what it normally is, so I have no basis to compare it from, but it wasn't very many people. I was shocked how few it actually was, but I don't know what it normally is.
Yeah, see, I don't either. And again, it was the coldest Iowa caucus in history. Like the worst, the coldest, the worst weather, all the things. So again,
I think all voting should be similar to that. It should be, you should experience some pain. We've talked about this, some pain to be able to vote. It shouldn't just be, I don't give a shit. Don't you think there should be some ownership to it?
I don't. No, not really.
Piss on those people that don't pay any attention. They have no idea what's going on. And they're not going to sacrifice a hot shock or bitter cold to go out and vote. Only the ones that truly pay attention to what's going on and have an opinion and want to go in a certain direction that understand it are going to go through that. It's very easy. It would fix our whole problem.
Oh, I'm so glad. So can we get back to what is really important?
Go ahead. New Hampshire.
No, that's not what that. No, I want to talk about these.
That is what Nikki said.
I want to talk about the other idiots in this race. Okay. Now, Asa, your other buddy, old buddy that you like from Arkansas, he dumped out. Viagra's out. Christie's out. I think
Tim's out.
Yeah, I think it is literally down to DeSantis, Haley, and Trump. There may be a few, but I don't think so. Because I can only remember 6 or 7 of them ever making the debate stage, and they're all gone.
I think there's some that never made the debate stage that may still be there,
but
not relevant.
So it's down to those 3. And Viagra's thing is he's calling on Haley and DeSantis to drop out and endorse Trump, which again they're not going to do that. But here is my thing: if you are DeSantis, this man went to every county in Iowa. Everyone visited every single county in Iowa. Spent like $30 million. Him and Haley,
Everything he had went to
one
Iowa.
was 30 and
All
one
of
was
it.
27 million on ads and all this other stuff. And Trump was like at 12. But anyway, did all this. And he got second by 1 percentage point. He got second by 1 percentage point. 30 percentage points behind Trump, but still got second by 1 percentage point. And do you know what this man tells the world? We have punched our ticket out of Iowa.
That could be taken many ways.
Sir, you went.
He has no chance at this point when he dumped everything he had into that. And I believe Viagra went to every county twice.
Oh, he did, but Viagra has his own money. You do realize that.
Yes, he does.
He has Trump money.
I don't know what DeSantis has, but he can't fund his own.
No, he can't fund his own campaign. But
so he's done. What is he? How is he even?
Well, that's what. So now the next one is New Hampshire, and the next one after that is South Carolina. So New Hampshire brought out a new poll today, but a brand new poll that was taken Monday and Tuesday. Okay, Monday and Tuesday. Trump is at 50%.
The one I had was 43.
No, you go look at Fox News right now, big dog. 50% Trump. Brand new poll.
I believe I took a real clear poll.
That does not count. This poll was taken Monday and Tuesday. Today is Wednesday.
It does count because you're taking into consideration multiple polls, which helps your statistical analysis. So it is better when you have a bigger group.
No, this is the one that is just the most recent poll. But how can you be this brain dead? 50%.
It doesn't matter if it's the most recent. If it's just one single poll, you're better off taking an average of all the polls.
DeSantis is at
Very
5.
simple. Yes, 5.4 in my poll.
You are not on it. You are not.
Where does Nikki fall in?
34.
Out of curiosity on yours, I was at 30.6.
No, she's not.
Well, this one was 3 days ago.
I can't with you. But anyway, so I don't even know if DeSantis has gone to New Hampshire. He said he was, but he's looking forward to South Carolina and all this stuff. I think Nikki Haley's from South Carolina. She's from a Carolina.
She is.
Okay.
She is.
So DeSantis is like at negative numbers in New Hampshire, and he's fixing to go to Nikki Haley's home state. What is he doing?
So New Hampshire, he's admittedly written off New Hampshire. For some reason, he does believe South Carolina might be better. And I don't doubt that if you take Nikki Haley and Trump out of the race, South Carolina probably would think he's fine. But you have your homegrown lady and you have Trump coming in there. He's in trouble, period. I appreciate that he's not attempting New Hampshire.
He just needs to. Laura, I don't even like Laura Ingraham. Okay, I really don't. But I listened to her last night, and what she said is what I have been saying this whole damn time. This man is young. He has 3 years of being Florida governor left. He has future in politics. Every single day that he stays in this, his political future is getting worse. Every single day.
I think in hindsight, he should have just left it alone. I know we talked about this a long time ago. If he would have left it alone, Trump wins, then he's a fairly viable candidate. But the one factor that I did not know is I love his policy in Florida.
Because he hates drag queens, so you love him.
In Florida. That's part of it. I'm not going to deny that. No, I don't think his policies.
It is different. You just haven't looked into it enough. But anyway,
pretty strong for.
Would you
except
just
for drag
let
queens,
me say this?
I don't know where Trump.
Here's the thing. I've said he was stupid for getting in this race from the beginning, but he got in it. Now, he has no way to win this. Will you at least agree that your boyfriend is not going to win?
There is. He has not had
okay.
He hasn't for months.
So.
Ever since he went on stage and spoke.
I get that he wanted to stay in through Iowa. Do you not think that he would have looked
I think he'd have been better off
the best after finishing second in Iowa? Because that's the only time he's probably going to be finished above Haley. And he's never going to be Trump. Like, you know what? I've enjoyed it. It's been a good run. I've met people all across the nation, all this other stuff. We've looked at the polls. The people have spoken in Iowa. While we came in second, there is no doubt that Trump is going to be the nominee, so we all need to coalesce and gone out that way instead of losing terribly at the next two, when you could have gone out when you were on second.
I think it'd be much better off. I believe the problem is, and I heard a pundit talk about this, or no, it would have been Huckabee. When you're in it and you've got so many people that have given so much time and so much to you to push you into this race and help you, it's hard to stop.
Man.
And I understand that, but there is no question he would be far better off. And in hindsight, if he would have left this alone and got behind Trump, he would have been pretty. If Trump
he would have been
wins,
anointed the next golden boy.
he would, if he could have been patient and waited 4 more years.
And
you're
he
right.
just could not.
I think he could have walked right into the. Now, when I say that, we would both think that, but he is so poor on stage.
Oh, he is bad.
Maybe it wouldn't have happened, but he would have a hell of a lot better chance.
He would have had a lot better chance sucking up to Trump during all this and waiting 4 years and still being the governor that, throws drag queens in jail in Florida and been fine.
There is nothing wrong with throwing drag queens in jail.
Every single day he stays in this, it just diminishes his political future. I'm not saying anything that will write him off forever, but every single day he stays in this, it gets worse.
He's going to have to come across more personable somehow. I don't know how he can do it. I just might not be in it.
That's your boy, Don Juan. And actually, I am going to be easier on him than I am Nikki Haley, because I don't know who is running her shit, but they are morons.
Please
she
tell
finishes
us.
Third. After she had told all these people, I'm the only one surging. I'm the only one that's getting more votes.
She has gained ground. You cannot argue that.
I'm not saying she ain't gained ground, but she ain't gained shit. The man got 51% of the vote.
No, she's taken votes away from DeSantis. She's gone up in the polls.
She is taking DeSantis's votes, not Trump's.
Yes. No, I agree. But she is gaining.
Okay. So after she's third, she gets out there and she tells everybody, I can say with the matter of fact that this is now a 2-person race between me and Donald Trump. Well, lady, you were just third.
It wasn't by much, and New Hampshire's next.
But Bill, that's just, do you know how many times they've replayed that line, making her look like an idiot? I mean, an idiot.
She's trying to set the mindset that DeSantis no longer matters and hope that she'll pick up the rest of his, which still you can combine the two and it isn't going to get there. It just isn't.
Oh.
Even in New Hampshire, if you because Ron has so little of the vote, you can add theirs together and they're still behind by a little bit.
I just don't know why. That, of all the people that she has paid, that probably threw things out there for her to say, because they knew, you know how this works. You write a speech for second, you write a speech for third, whatever, when you're in Nikki Haley's and DeSantis' shoes in Iowa. You had a speech whether you're going to be second, or you had a speech that you were going to be third. When they were doing the things for the last line you say is now this is a 2-person race. Like, was she confused and used her second, if she got second place speech?
She's referring to New Hampshire being a 2-person race.
Dude, you know how many times that has been replayed and replayed and replayed and replayed, and she looks like the biggest idiot in the world.
She's a little optimistic.
I'm sorry, but it's a 2-person race. And then I don't know. And then again, and most of y'all won't care about this, but whoever is doing this chick's makeup, y'all got the color so far off. She looks like a corpse. Jesus. Y'all need to, I mean, it's bad. Like, Nikki, I like you. You need to call me and we'll get you fixed there, because, woof. It's rough. But
okay. Who have you got left to talk about on that?
That's it. There's only 3 people left.
Well, I want to talk about those 3 against Biden in the current polls. Where do you think they fall out?
DeSantis, the last poll that I saw, DeSantis wasn't even beating Biden.
Okay, so I'm looking at one January 10th through the 12th. So not long ago, last week, not even that far back. You're looking at DeSantis, 51%, Biden 48.
So he's beating Biden.
He's beating him, but that margin of error that would make me nervous. That level. If you look at Trump and Biden, we're at 50 versus 48. And I don't doubt that, but that 50% he's got is awful strong. But on the other side, there's close to 50% that just flat will never vote for him. It just is. It's pretty, the line in the sand's already drawn there. What's interesting to me is that Nikki Haley is probably picking up most of the independent vote because she's at 53 versus Biden 45. And she's going to continue to push that she's more electable. I don't think the Trump people care. So it isn't going to gain her any ground, but she has something to talk about there. That would be much better to talk about than saying it's a 2-person race for the primary. If she could convince the world that Trump cannot beat Biden, maybe she gets a little bit more of the moderate side of the Republican Party to say, okay, she's better than not having a Republican in there. That's her only chance, and it won't work.
See, you are a Democrat. You were just a Democrat. You can't help yourself. You're just like everybody else. So now, since Trump won by so much and it's all over with, they all know he's going to be the nominee. So
yes,
now
there's no question.
Every news station, and now Dale, you have just proven it. Y'all are doing the same shit. Well, if this against Biden, all this stuff, Nikki Haley may get more moderates or independents or whatever the hell she wants. Number one, it doesn't matter because she's not going to be the nominee. Number two,
no, I'm saying she needs to tout that if she wants to get a few more votes.
Number two, those
I'm not
polls,
saying that she'll ever get.
Show where is the poll that says when all this is over and it's just Trump versus Biden and all these other. Where's the poll that says what are they going to do then? That's what I want to know. Where's that poll?
That's this one right here. When you just put
no,
Joe
because they're asking about.
Trump.
No,
they're separate polls, Ryan. You take Joe against Trump. You don't put them all in the mix. It's just those two. They've run those polls.
Maybe I'm misspeaking. Whatever I'm saying is none of those polls really matter until it is true that it's just down to Trump and Biden, because then there are no other options.
That is how they present it, is what I'm saying. And I understand where you're coming from, but that is how they're in the back of their mind. They'll be saying, "Oh, I want somebody else," or I hope. I understand that, but they set the poll up to try to accomplish that.
Right. I get that, but I think until those are the two choices and everyone gets in that mindset, because they are both so disliked by different sections of the country, then until it is, these are your two options right here. I don't think that the poll could ever be as accurate as it needs to be, because there are people, 70% of the Democrats want somebody else.
They want somebody else, but they're so polarized by Trump, they'll still vote for Joe.
But I mean,
so what I think that when it comes down to it, when you say this is it, I believe the independents grudgingly will vote for Trump because life is better under Trump. Not that they like him, but it's better than the Joe. So I think it'll help him a little bit, but it's shocking to me that this coming general election, and again, we're assuming, and I want to go on record, I still do not believe Biden will be on the ticket in the general. The Democrats are not they're not that stupid. Yeah, they have to stop him because they bring in Michelle Obama and her name's starting to come up a little more. Have you heard about it?
I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm hearing it. If she comes in there, I'm telling you, I'm afraid she beats Trump.
She will beat Trump.
I think it's right?
She will beat Trump. She is the most popular woman in the world. I do not know what part of this you do not get. She is the most popular woman in the world. She's more popular than Oprah. I didn't think that was possible.
Do you not think that those higher ups in the Democrat Party, Nancy maybe being one of them, realizes that, although she's going to.
I think they all realize it. I'm telling you, I think Michelle has said no. I'm not doing it.
I think I have no idea where she's at. I don't think she wants to do it. I just don't know. If she wanted to do it, she would be getting pushed right now. So right now, can we both agree who's pretending to be the candidate?
No, he's pretending.
If it's not Biden.
Shit, man. I don't know.
Newsom.
Newsom. I think that, like you, I think when you really get into Newsom and anybody that's an independent or a moderate or an undecided, especially the undecided and the independent, those are the people that actually research. Those are the people that study.
Yes.
When they do that, I think Gavin's got a big problem. Now,
No, he's sunk with
right.
those.
I still think that he can get out on the debate stage and absolutely do things that I did not think were humanly possible. I'm still just
and when
I mean,
and when people don't research him, they
Right,
will vote
and
for him. If they don't do the research, it's going to give a lot of the idiot liberals a peace of mind that, wow, this is a great guy. I'm going for it.
I also going to say on Gavin's part, I think he's dumb too, because I don't think that he should run against Trump, because the next time Trump is not running again. This is it. Win, lose, or draw, he's not running again. Okay. The next time when Gavin could run, whether it be against a DeSantis or somebody else, there is not 75 million people salivating to go cast a vote for Donald Trump. There will never be another Republican presidential nominee that has made people want to go out and vote for someone more. Like him, loathe him, hate him, I don't care. That is the truth. The next time, Gavin will not have that factor on whoever he's running against. So I think he should just put his feet up and wait.
He's looking at it from the other angle. He's looking at there's that many people that Trump has polarized that are automatically going to vote for him. I think it's less than what support Trump, but it's not as big a difference as what I would like it to be. So I think he's looking at it. He's already got 40% of the vote. Now he's just got to get a little bit more, a few more idiots to come. He's not going to gain the independents. He just may get a few more idiots off their ass to go vote. That is his only salvation. And God help us. I hope him or Michelle. I mean, we're over. Our country would be a mess, worse than it is now. It's going to continue to be like it is.
I may be optimistic or whatever, but I'm telling you, if Michelle Obama wanted to run, I think she would have ran last time. After 4 years of Trump and I think, and there was plenty of people that wanted her to do it then and all this other stuff.
I hope to God you're right, because we do not want her on that ticket.
The whole Gavin, I think he should just lay up and wait, because again, and I get what you're saying, that people are looking at, there's so many people that want to go vote against Trump. Here's the problem with that. You are much more, when push comes to shove, you're much more willing to actually go do something when you believe in something and you're happy to do it. Like people who love Trump and want to go cast that ballot and want to be part of this, all this other stuff. Then people, oh my God, I just can't stand him. They can't stand him.
No, I think you're right on that. I think there's some that are so angry and so,
but I don't think that's the majority.
That they're,
I mean,
no, but there's a portion.
No, there is a portion that hate him so much, whatever. But I would look at it as the next time around, they're not going to have this 75 million rabid dogs out there supporting that person. There's going to be a lot more people that are like, maybe I really don't like DeSantis. Maybe I won't go vote. Or, maybe I'll just vote Democrat this time because that guy lies better on. I don't know, but like, you are not going to convince the Trump people to stay home. Period. It is not possible.
I agree. So what concerns me is those polls where it's head to head with Trump and Biden. It should not be this close with what a disaster our country is in right now. That just reassures me how polarizing both of them are. And particularly, I guess we're talking about Trump here to the left. We're not going to argue that. But it scares me that it's not going to be a whole lot different than it was last time, even after this disaster that Joe has had. It should be a much bigger gap if the independents are answering the polls and so forth. I can't imagine that they're still on board with Joe, because there's only 1% or 2% difference from the last election. And I just don't know why it's not a greater gap. And that concerns me, that no matter how bad Joe is, there's so many liberals that are anti-Trump. They're just going to vote along that party line.
And I get
don't
that,
know.
but you're also forgetting two people. Number one, there is no one else other than Trump that is going to stand for what he stands for, does his policies, all this other stuff. On the other side, you're going to have Mr. Kennedy that's going to take some votes away. Now, I don't know how many.
And they're talking Mansion.
And then the other one that I was fixing to say, I said 2. Now you got Joe Manchin up all in this. And so, again,
they're saying he's more likely than Kennedy to push in.
Well, Kennedy's on the ballot I mean, he's filed or whatever, but they're saying that he could get more votes than Kennedy. But
they're going to come away from Biden. I promise you.
Those are going to come.
The Trump voters, those are going
to come away from Biden. And again, it's like, I can't stand Biden, what he's done these 4 years, but I can't vote for Trump. Well, they have an option.
That is the wild card. They're saving our ass because if either one of them's on there, that couple percent they get is going to benefit Trump, and that's going to be enough. That will.
They have an option, but
wait until the next 4 years from now when we have all the illegals that come over voting. Who are they going to vote for?
Whoever the Democrat is, I will have moved by then.
It's not gonna. I'm just telling you. There's one more thing while we're on this. Isn't it interesting to you that in recent history, 20 years, whatever it may be, I would say the two most polarizing political presidential candidates, former presidents, whatever you want to call them, Joe and Trump, that those would probably be first and second in terms of the most polarizing to the population.
Mm-hmm.
Not their party, but it's obviously Trump with the Democrats, and those are the two that are going up against each other. I've never really just stopped and thought about it, but the fact that we're at that place, that is so divided, so polarizing. It's amazing. I have another theory I'd like to run by you, and you're not going to like it. You are not going to like it. I'm going to tell you that right now. If I could give Trump some advice,
Christ,
I'm not going to give him any. And I'm stealing this a little bit from a pundit last night that I'm kind of paraphrasing, but feel exactly the same way, have for a long time. If he could do this, and he won't, but if Trump could do this, I think there's an easy path. I think he could get himself 1 or 2 more % in the general, and that's all it's going to take to secure it. So that what I call the guaranteed path to the White House, which I don't believe he'll do this. I want Trump in the White House as much as anybody, period. The problem is, if he doesn't get there, it doesn't help us at all.
You said that like 9,000 fucking times the last.
Yes. If I could just appoint him. The problem is he's not helping himself. Okay. He just isn't. The general polls are too close. It's not far off of where it was last time. I think Trump still wins, but I'm probably a little biased. If he would back off the arrogance and show some
Did
humility.
You not listen to his Iowa speech?
He was going the right direction. But if he does more of that, he doesn't get beat. He'll pull those few independents that they're just going to stay home because they're just not happy with either one. If he can do, and I thought that's the best he's done yet at Iowa, I would take it a step further. Here's an example that Dennis Miller, I think on Hannity maybe gave last night. Ted Cruz came out and endorsed Trump yesterday, I believe. At that point, and I forgot this happened. Do you remember when Trump was making fun of Ted Cruz's wife?
In Trump's defense, Ted Cruz is a terrible human being. He's from my state, and all those things that Trump said about his wife are true. But anyway, go ahead.
I know, but wouldn't he be better recepted, more well received if he wouldn't have?
That was 8 years ago, dude. Move on.
I'm not arguing. I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying
he has not slung nearly as much mud as he has the 2 previous campaigns. He was actually somewhat decent to Nikki and Ron in that Iowa speech. He was very kind and loving to Viagra. And the one thing that I will say about him, the rabid dog in this thing, Chris Christie, he didn't even tear him apart. He's
just not even worth talking about,
right.
I don't think.
So again, I agree with you. I'm not going to say I disagree, but when he came out and made his announcement that he was running again, I have not seen one time where it be like it was in 2016 or like it was against Biden in 2020. I mean, you're never going to get rainbows and butterflies out of that man. It's not
No,
going
his
to happen.
personality doesn't no. And if we did, we wouldn't have such absolute policy that he's not changing. There's a lot of things that come with that. I understand this. I'm just saying that path would be easier the more humble he can become within reason. And I don't think it's very much further than what he gave at Iowa. But the more he goes that direction and just leaves alone some of those things and maybe says, hey, I have made mistakes and it's part of learning. It just is what it is. But if he could come across that way to some of the independents, I think I think they're going to open up, and I think he's going to be a little more palatable for him. And I think he's going to get a few more, and he doesn't need many. If he could just push that a little bit, he's not going to lose.
And I'm not saying I don't agree with that. I do think he's doing his best to do that. And I do think the man's making a valiant effort for him in that department.
I think he is, because Hannity came out and says he has many discussions with him. And he says he's told him exactly this.
Right.
There's no question he's aware of it.
I just don't think
I'm with
how
you. I
much
don't think
farther
he,
y'all gonna
just
get
don't think
there,
he can do any more than
I think he's trying. But
I think you're right.
The one thing
I think the
that
effort's
want
being
to
made,
bring
and I
up
think it
that
will
just
help.
Sent me, so I almost broke hotel TVs. But anyway, so when he's giving his speech, Rachel Maddow and all these other people, they say that they're not going to take his speech live because of they're not going to give him a platform and they'll monitor it and report back and all this other stuff. Okay. I call bullshit on that, because if he was as bad as what all these people are making him out to be, if he was homophobic and racist and xenophobic and all that, and that he was just spewing hate, they're not going to give him a platform and they'll monitor it and report back and all this other stuff. Okay. I call bullshit on that, because if he was as bad as what all these people are making him out to be, if he was homophobic and racist and xenophobic and all that, and that he was just spewing hate all over when he won Iowa, like you acted like he did, why wouldn't they show that? Why wouldn't they want the people to see that, to get them all up in arms and ready to go, cast him down and all this other stuff? They knew what he was going to say. They all had copies of what he was going to say. And because they knew that, they're like, oh, nope, we can't show this because we can't give such a crazy idiot a platform at free will without monitoring. Kiss my gay ass.
Not only can they not give him a platform, I think they're worried about the content who's gonna disagree with his immigration policy and the border wall. I mean, there's things they don't want the Democrats or liberals to hear, because at this point they're fed up with it. And I think they're going to block him from here. They're going to not allow him to have any voice whatsoever. Silent. They'll play the clips where he's saying something a little bit stupid, or the biggest, or the mostest, or one of those things. Other than that, it ain't coming out. It just isn't. So I'm going to circle back. I'm feeling bad for Jinsaki here. So January 23rd is the New Hampshire primary, correct?
It's Tuesday, whatever day that is.
Yep, 8 days after Iowa, I believe. I can't imagine Trump's not going to win. Is Nikki Haley going to be a whole lot closer there? Sure, it just is what it is, and she's put a lot of effort and time.
She's going to be closer, but it's not going to be close. Close?
No,
is within the margin of error, people.
I'm gonna say it's going to be a 10-point spread.
Okay, yeah, good. Okay,
that's my best estimate.
That's still
so.
Not close.
Then we go into South Carolina. Now here, just like Ron put himself in a position where it's very evident he put every bit of effort he had into Iowa. Guess what? You've got the hometown girl in South Carolina. She goes down there and Trump beats her, which I believe he will. Then what does she do?
So that's the one thing that I'm glad you circled back about. He's farther ahead in South Carolina than he was in almost Iowa, and definitely in New Hampshire, in her home state.
You see, I have not pulled those polls up. I don't. Well, here, yeah, no, I do. I do have it. No, you're right. Trump's
yes.
Now again, you're not going to like these. 54.8. He's 30 points ahead of Haley.
Exactly. I knew
30.
He's farther ahead of her in her home state than he was in Iowa.
So she has a decent. She's going to declare another win in New Hampshire because she's within 15 points. Okay,
and then she's going to go to her home state and get
her ass whooped
in her home state.
Then what did she say?
That I do not know.
That's going to be a hard one for her.
And okay, let's do it on the now. If Ron could somehow get second in South Carolina, that would be a victory for him. But I don't think that's going to happen.
He's not gonna.
But I
think he's done after South Carolina. I don't know why he's going to hold on that long, but he'll be
I
done
just
then.
wish he'd get out now. It would be so much better for him.
Maybe he'll listen and he'll take your guidance.
He ain't taken it all damn since he announced. So
he's a pretty big LGBTQ plus fan.
Yeah. He's a great one. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Oh my, that's kind of burned you a little bit. Something he did. And I still don't ever quite comprehend.
No, I don't care. I don't want to be married. I don't care about any of all this LGBTQ plus Z, whatever, all that other. None of that really bothers me. What bothers me is when someone is obsessive compulsive about something like he is about drag queens and all this other stuff. And not that it matters. You can be that way, but also don't try to get elected president of the United States, because that is not going to work with independence. Dale, you are a parent. I do not think you like anyone telling you where you can or cannot take your children.
I would agree with that.
And that is what he has done in Florida.
Not to a drag queen show.
Yes.
So to me, it's a law that doesn't matter. I mean, I guess there's idiots out there that might do that. And maybe they should be spayed or neutered.
Plenty of them. I'm not saying that they should, but again, we talk about all this all the time, that America is supposed to be about having your right to choose all these things. And choosing how to parent your child is one of those. Now, I don't think that a bunch of people are very good at it. I myself thought I would be terrible at it. That is why I made the conscious decision to not have the children. But I also don't think anybody on either side, anyway, should be able to tell you or pass laws on what you can do with your kids. You're the one that brought them into this world, not them.
I understand, but if we did throw out some of the crazy ass stupid shit that they do, it may, I don't know. I just think that the ignorant should not propagate. How's that?
I'm with you.
I don't know if that's going to be real popular, but it just is what it is. There are some of those things that we see in other countries and dictators that we don't support, but occasionally they have a good idea. So I've got a couple more real mild things to talk about. And I don't know how much more we have.
I'm done with the president's race and all this stuff. So the only other thing that I have left to say about this, and again, not saying that Biden is going to be the Democratic nominee. I mean, he's firmly convinced he is, but
I want to go on the record. I don't think he will be.
Again, I at this point, I have said for many, many months, I don't think he will be. But at this point, I just have no freaking idea anymore, because they just don't seem like. My point on it is the primaries just started. So this is going to have to be a power move that after all the primaries and caucuses are over, they're going to be like, okay, you bow out. And then.
Yeah, get sick. It'll be something there will be an excuse.
Right. And I mean, that's very possible and whatever. But the point that I was bringing up here is, if let's just say it's Trump and Biden, the two big factors I see is, number one, you're going to be able to compare Trump's 4 years as president versus Biden's 4 years as president. We didn't have that last time because Biden had never been president. That is going,
and yet there's in the stupid ass polls, there's still not enough of a difference. I agree with you.
It's
going to swing a smaller portion than it should.
But that's going to swing into his favor. The other thing,
I think it'll be enough.
The other thing about this, and when I am not going to tell you that I am the most deeply religious person that you will ever meet, but when I go to bed at night, I pray that my friend Trump, the orange man, makes a very wise decision on his VP. I don't know who it's going to be, but I need it to be very, very wise. And I need it to be a woman,
because
I really need it.
He's capable. He is capable of not making a wise decision.
The last one. Yes, I'm very well aware. But I need him to make a very wise decision because
think about the last one. Don't you think he's going to go the opposite now?
I just
because
want
that
it
was
to
such
be a woman.
train wreck.
I just want it to be a woman.
I don't even know if you know who they're talking about.
No, I don't.
My buddy, my boy,
Who?
Tucker.
Oh, sweet Jesus, Marion.
Yes. There's a lot of them talking about it, and I would be perfectly fine with it, other than it might not get him elected.
That is like throwing gasoline on the fire.
I think if we could just appoint them, would be great, but I don't know that it's a good idea to try to elect that pair.
Oh, no, that's a terrible idea. But
we'd know about the damn aliens within minutes after they took office. We would know.
My point on this is granted, Biden is older than Trump, but not by much. And age is a factor in this thing. And the only reason that it's not more of a factor is because Biden is 80, but actually acts like he's 102, and Trump 70-something and acts more like he's low 60s. He has energy. He has all these things, whatever. But the truth is they're not that different in age. And I do think that the VPs will be looked at more than ever before. And as we all know, Camel Toe has the lowest approval rating of any vice president in history. So, but okay, I'm done. Thank you.
No, that's good. And I'm completely with you on that. I'm with you. I hope it all turns out well. And I think we ought to get back into the routine of doing more of the Beyond the Circus. These are far enjoyable. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
May I talk to you about one thing, Hunter, and one thing, China?
Go right ahead.
Hunter, just real quick. He's facing federal gun charges.
Oh, he's facing some. I mean, he's almost been indicted as many times as Trump by this point.
He's being indicted for making a false statement in the purchase of a firearm, making false statement related to information required to keep or to be kept by a licensed firearm dealer, and possession of a firearm by unlawful user of a controlled substance. And there appears to be cocaine residue found on the gun pouch.
Yes, there was cocaine. I did heard that.
It appears as though they want. So my dilemma is here. Is this what they want to hang him on so they can just sweep the rest under the rug? Or are they truly out to get him?
See, I said this a couple months ago.
These charges aren't going to bother that many people. Would you agree?
No, but he could face jail time, real jail time for this, and the tax things and all this other stuff. So my thing is, in the back of my mind, is it they're going to cut a deal with Daddy? If you bow out, we'll let him go.
Yes, that's possible. Or we let these charges stick. We'll leave the rest of them alone. There's a lot of things going on, I'm sure. And I guarantee you there's something. I don't know what, but there's something. No question. So the next thing that I've got for you is 100% rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns.
Yeah, then it's not in this country.
And China.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and again, you've got to dig a little bit for this, and please don't throw me in the conspiracy theory bunch on this.
I bet you had to dig.
Do not, no, not hard. This was brought to my attention by at least 3, maybe 4 listeners. I don't know how they knew we were going to do Beyond the Circus. I think they're just wanting it for current events. So there's the elitist talking about disease X. Chinese lab debuts mutant coronavirus with 100% kill rate in humanized mice. Okay, mice that their embryos have been coated with human proteins, basically trying to make them more human-like, like you would a pig organ getting transferred into a person. So I mean, it's not a human, obviously it's mouse, but we have serious concerns. So China, having faced no meaningful repercussions over COVID-19, which I don't believe they've been held accountable at all. No. The scientists in China continue to conduct dangerous experiments on coronavirus. In Beijing, they've crafted a coronavirus variant called GXP2V that kills these humanized mice at 100% rate, all of them dead within 7 days, I believe. With this, they're referring to this as disease X. And what is frightening to me, there is no question they have the technology to create a virus that could wipe out the world. No, most non-third world countries, developed countries, could do this at this point. And that's frightening to me. That means that nuclear weapons, that conventional warfare, all of that's gone. It's kind of like Kim Jong-un getting a full-blown nuclear weapon that he can use. He's crazy enough he might do it. All of a sudden, when you have the development of these viruses, whether it's a lab leak by accident, which does happen. There was one that happened recently in Britain, or somehow a terrorist group or some crazy North Korean, who knows who, somewhere in the Middle East, Iran, gets a hold of one of these viruses. My fear is, Ryan, that those stupid sons of bitches are crazy enough to cut it loose. And there's no way that they have not been developed or being developed right now. The simplicity at this point with where we are in bioengineering to come up with a virus that is absolutely lethal is unbelievable. Do I think the Chinese would release it and kill themselves? No. Do I think they'd spend another year or however long it takes to figure out what vaccine would work for that to be preemptive? Possibly. But I don't know how they could ever think that wiping out the rest of the world is going to benefit them necessarily. But it scares the living shit out of me that we've come this far with bioengineering that we can develop a completely lethal virus that wipes out the entire population. There is no arguing that that can be done. The only argument is there somebody that could ever get their hands on it crazy enough to use it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's completely rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah, it is. It scares the hell out of me. I think about this more than I should. The only thing I can think of on the nuclear weapon side, so if China releases this, everybody's dropping dead around the world. Biden wouldn't do it, but if Trump's in office and we don't have something similar, he could at least release the nukes on China. That would be a little bit of a deterrent. But what's a deterrent for some crazy in the Middle East or even your buddy over in North Korea? There just really isn't one, is there?
I can't think of one, but see, I think you put way too much faith in the China of it all because you say they don't want to kill their own people. I don't believe you.
No, I think they want to kill some of their own. I think they'd love to kill some of their own.
I don't know if they want to wipe them out all, but I think they'd kill a large portion of them.
If they could vaccinate the population, the people they wanted to keep, and kill the rest, they'd do it immediately. They wouldn't blink.
Yeah,
it'd be done.
Exactly.
I don't think that, I know I'm overreacting. The reality is the fact that we are at that point that we can develop a virus that could wipe out the planet in terms of the human population. And I'm sure that because it can be done, it will be done or has been done. Now it's just a question, does it fall into the hands of somebody that would actually release it? And I can't answer that. And that bothers me.
I'm with you.
That was a good one to end on, I think.
No,
keep everything positive.
Right, that's just overwhelmingly, glowingly positive there. But the only other thing that I do want to bring up is Maine came out today and said that they are, because Trump appealed the state EG's decision to not have him on the ballot. So they came out today and said that they are going to wait till the Supreme Court rules on Colorado before they do anything else. And that case is going to be heard February 8th, I think was the date they announced or whatever. And who knows how long that's going to take. But the reason I bring this up is when the Supreme Court does rule, and again, I cannot see any way possible how they do not say that it is unconstitutional, immoral, wrong, against law, illegal, whatever you want to say for Trump to not be on these ballots. When they do that, I think the Democrats have a very large problem.
They have to do it. They have to do that.
No, I know, but I'm saying they have pushed for all this and they have gone down this tactic and done all this and all that. And when, even though you may not like some of the rulings of the Supreme Court over the year, I do think that most people believe when judgment is handed down there, it just is what it is. And so when they do that and they say Trump is allowed on all the ballots, this is, unconstitutional, all the things, it is going to show the American public even more that all this shit they're trying to do is really what Trump says. That they are just trying to do everything that they can possibly imagine or think of to keep him out of being president once again. And I don't think that's going to help their cause.
That is the most
Anyway.
accurate statement you've made this entire episode.
I just don't think that's going to help their cause, because then it is right there in your face. Everything he has said is true right now.
Agreed. No, I am with you, and they're making the case. You hear the others on the left talking about how Trump is if he gets in the office at the end of our democracy. What
Right,
is the
because he's going to become a
essence of-
dictator. And,
yeah. And they're the ones trying to take away the vote of the people.
that's the whole thing. Trump's going to end our democracy, but they are the ones that are actually trying to end the principles on which this democracy was founded upon.
Exactly. It just
Free
amazes me.
speech, right to
The
choose,
The problem is the ignorance in the public that's listening.
the right to vote, all those things.
So I have a solution. We just go to that spay and neuter thing off of IQ. Then we're good. We're fine.
Again, it's not going to affect me because I'm not having any. So
You're fine.
get with it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Ryan. This was enjoyable, fun. I hope people get a chance to listen and maybe take something from it. It's just our opinions. We're probably right, probably wrong. I don't know. But until the next Beyond the Circus, be safe.
Y'all come back now, you hear?